It's Talk with your host, Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, Simply Straight Talk.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Who's this?
Come on, stop playing. I just want to talk to you.
Oh, now you want to talk to me. Sure, go ahead. I'm listening.
Thank you. She's serious. Fine, I'll go knock on the door.
Oh, come on. I will never finish packing. Who is it?
It's me, Andrew.
The hell do you want? I'm sorry, wait, were you parked outside my house like some creepy stalker?
Can I come in and talk to you, please?
Hell no. You can talk to me right there, buddy, standing right where you are.
But it's raining and there's no covering. Can you at least let me use an umbrella?
I could care less about your ass getting wet in the rain. I have several umbrellas, thank you. But why didn't you ask your bad breath friend James for one?
Okay, I deserve that. I was just confused. James was trying to help me out. Whatever happened at the hotel doesn't matter. I want you back, baby. I've missed you, and I want us to move past all this and be a power couple. I know we can be. Before you say anything, I know what you're going to say.
Oh, you do? Oh, special one, please, since you know me so well. Tell me.
You're going to say I was wrong for not being up front when you got back in town, and I was rude when you were trying to speak to me that night. Baby, it was the alcohol. You know I would never do anything to hurt you or allow anyone else to hurt you. Now, please, let's put all of this behind us because I want this relationship.
Let me get this straight. Now you want this relationship. Now you love me.
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's great. You see, I have spent the past couple of weeks trying to figure out what this hotel thing is you keep chatting crap about. Then I realized, you know what? I don't give a fuck. You see, this woman needs a man and not some immature little puppy that follows everyone that offers him a little treat. And you have the nerve to stand here and say you love me. You know what little boys don't love? They pant like a dog.
Angelique, will you please understand? I was confused, but I'm good now, and I know where I messed up.
You see, that's the problem. I have no interest whatsoever in being with your ass.
But I was hoping we could talk this out, and then you would understand me just a little better.
Really? No. I understand you perfectly. You see, you are a spineless, weak, pathetic man who can't defend his woman or has the guts to man up to your so-called friend who walks around with arse breath all day. And as a matter of fact, you should go talk to him about getting your life together because you know what? I think you two make a great team, babe. You know, I can see it now in bright lights in the city. Come one, come all. Tonight's show features James and Andrew, better known as Arse Breath and Arsed Out.
Baby, I'm sorry. You know you can't get better than me. Stop this.
I'm sorry, are you crying? Oh, my days, you're crying. Okay, look. I need you to listen to me, okay?
I'm listening.
Okay. Go to your car, take a deep breath. That's it. Okay, and dry your face. And slowly leave the driveway and roll down your window and wave goodbye. Then take the nearest exit to hell or the nearest exit off a cliff. Either one, I'm good with because I'm done with you. Oh, hey, Andrew, just for the record, it's not you, it's me.
Welcome to the Simply Straight Talk Show, a podcast about real life with real talk. Each week, we deliver the best hard-hitting conversations on topics that affect you and me every day on this journey called life. Now here's your host, Reggie Maddox.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show. And today we're going to be talking about practicing physical and emotional self-care. Now, as many of you are aware, we're living in a time in which so much is going on in the world around us. Not to mention the stress and pressure we feel in our daily life. A person may easily begin to feel so overwhelmed emotionally that they begin to let go of the other things that's most important to them. And often the things we let go are things that keep us going and keep us healthy and well physically and emotionally. Physically, we begin to experience headaches, high blood pressure, weight gain, aches and pains in our body. Emotionally, we begin to experience stress, fear, anxiety, loneliness, and depression. And although we may have friends and family and other relationships, we are still individuals. So it's important to understand what self-care is for each of us and identify ways to practice and implement a positive routine of self-care that is long-term, something that's going to keep you going, keep you motivated, and they're going to help you with your personal and professional growth. And today we have the wonderful and talented Angelique here with us again.
Oh, why, thank you very much. Yo, what's up? You know, your listeners are like, God damn it, seriously, Reggie, her again? Like, we already hear her on the intros. We're sick of her voice.
Oh, please. I still get questions. Where's Angelique? Where's Melissa? And before we get started, please say hey to Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly. I love the no, I do, seriously. She represents, she rides for her. I got respect for that. Every time I'm on Insta, she's at me like, no, Angelique, don't have it. And I'm like, yeah. She's like a great hype woman. I love it. So hi, Kimberly. Thank you so much for the love and support.
Oh my God.
Everyone needs a Kimberly in their life, backing it for them. I'm just saying, if I could walk around with Kimberly all day, in their moments when someone gets on my nerves, Kimberly can be like, oh, no, you didn't. And I'll be like, yeah, that's right.
Yes, because she rides for you.
I know. I appreciate any love and support, to be honest. I'm going to take it in this 2021 madness.
All right, everybody, we are talking about physical and emotional self-care. And a lot of us, some people don't really know what self-care is, or they put so much into other people, they forget about themselves.
Yeah. It's crazy though, isn't it? It's there's a saying, I don't know if I've actually heard it or I made it up. Either way, there's a saying that I like to say that you can't save a drowning victim if you don't know how to swim yourself. You know, and it's that concept really. Everyone's all about giving outwardly, trying to help other people, be helpful, help the community, help your family, help your partner, but you're burning out and you're not filling up your cup. And for me personally, that's something that I'm still learning, and I'm realizing there are levels to these bezels, Reggie. There's levels to self-care, and it changes based on your evolution and who you are and what you need as well. Like how I look after myself now at 35 is not what I did 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago, I'll be honest with you, because I'm different.
That is true, because I am too. It's like when I was younger, I didn't really consider my mental health. I think I was just mainly going, and whatever happened, I just kind of took it as it came. And I didn't consider the people I hang around, like what people were putting into me. I didn't consider how I, the things I would say to myself that was actually hurting me, like the negative thoughts and added extra pressure you put on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, let's say from the age of like maybe 15, 16, when you start making decisions for yourself, right? Who you're going to hang out with, where you're going to go, where you're going to work, what college you want to go to. You're so kind of excited to be finally sort of set free. Like, I'm an adult now. I get to make decisions. I get to live life. See ya, mum and dad. I'm out of here, right? And you're just sort of excited about experiencing things for the first time, that you're on like a fast freight train. You're just going and going and going and going, and you kind of tend to burn yourself out, which is probably where the saying YOLO, you only live once, comes from, because in your 20s you're on go, right? And it's not until I'd say maybe 28, 29 when you starting to see that big 30 coming up on the horizon, like, wait, 30's coming, and that means I'm a real adult now. Oh, what do I want in life? And you start questioning who you are, who you hang around with, and what you want. And all of a sudden, life just kind of, you know what I mean, face plants you in your face, just sort of, just sort of smacks you upside the head. It's like, damn it, I'm a real adult now. Because in your 20s, you say you're an adult, but you know you're not.
You're not.
you know. You're not. It's part of the fun, though, of being in your 20s. You know what I mean? And for me personally, from 30 upwards, I really started looking at, what do I want to be happy? And actually, what am I doing that's maybe not so healthy for me? And it turned out there was a long ass list of some shit. It was like, oh no. It's like, that's not good. I've been
It is a long list, because I know I know when I was younger, once I hit those 30s, I realized that I did not know how to deal with negative emotions. You know, how to turn a negative emotion into a positive, like how to work through it. Because sometimes I would linger too long in something.
Yeah. It's the one thing that I'm learning recently. I have been learning it anyway, but it's really been drummed home for me recently, is that as human beings, we like to categorize things. This is bad, this is terrible, this is, life ending, this is positive, this is great, blah, blah, blah. We like to categorize and put things in boxes because it's safer for us that way, for us to comprehend and understand things when we experience life. But one thing I've come to realize, bar a few certain exceptions, I've really started saying to myself, this is neither good nor bad, it just is. Because I find then my emotions aren't so extreme on one end of the scale or the other. And I find it easier for me to bring myself back in the middle. So if I am experiencing something contrasting in my personal life, like for instance, my father has recently been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Not gonna lie, I'm a daddy's girl. I love my pups. I love my mum too. Let me just clarify that, people. I love both my parents. Just out here like, forget mum, the one who brought me into this world, forget her. No, like, I love both my parents, but I have just a more natural closeness with my dad, and it has hit me hard. And it's kind of teaching myself with the sort of thoughts of fear and worry that roll through my head of, it's okay. It's okay that you worry. It's okay that you're scared, because it's not good or bad. It just is. And it allows me the breathing space to experience those emotions without trying to maybe squash it down. Because, naturally we're taught, you don't talk about negative stuff.
Right.
You squash it down, put it in a box, put it away. And then what happens, obviously, all that stuff builds up and eventually explodes in your face in some very inopportune moment. Do you know what I mean? And you have a breakdown. That's how breakdowns happen. It's from all of the stuff you've been repressing surges out. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I think you just have to kind of learn to tell yourself that it's not good or bad. It just is. And make peace with whatever emotion you're experiencing.
And I think you're right, because you said, like, it's okay to worry. And I think a lot of people feel like when they are having negative emotions, like everything is wrong now, like the world is coming to an end. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, it's okay. You're human. You're gonna feel these emotions. So it doesn't mean that, you just give in and throw in the towel. It's what actions you take, to kind of get yourself out of that. And some people don't even know what triggers like their negative emotions. Like, what triggers your negative emotions? What triggers your positive emotions? And instead of like leaning more towards like, okay, this is going to trigger positive and motivation things. Mentally, it's going to make me stronger. I can grow from it. They attract more to the negative things, the negative triggers, and they just keep going to that. And they wonder why I'm never happy.
Oh, I think you said an amazing word there, trigger. I think to really understand what triggers you, whether it's negatively or positively, requires a lot of mirror work, as I call it, i.e. looking at yourself in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And really looking at maybe how you've reacted to past conversations, conflicts, or moments, and really look at what's underneath it. Because you'll find that, say, for instance, you're arguing with your partner. You are not arguing about that thing. Why didn't you put the bin bags out today? I always tell you, you're not really pissed about that. That's just the surface level shit. If you dig deep enough and ask yourself enough questions about why, ain't got shit to do with the bin bags, Reggie. Do you know what I mean? It's something else. Maybe it's triggered off from a previous experience. And I personally work with a life coach, or a personal development coach. Sorry, he's awesome. Shout out to Mervyn, and he's really taught me about what are the stories in your head. And I think I explained this to you once personally, Reggie, but like, we are living in the now, right? But our brain does not know the difference between pain from the past or anxiety over the future. So you could be sitting there and reliving a previous moment, maybe that's been triggered by, i.e., the bin bag's not being taken out, and now you're reliving something from your previous past, but your brain only recognizes the pain and feels it now, doesn't know that you're thinking about a past thought. Or we could be sitting here stressing about anxieties over the future. Can I pay my bills? Will I get paid on time? But your brain doesn't know that you're thinking about future thoughts. It just feels that anxiety, so you experience the anxiety in the now. And just like you said about being triggered, you really need to look at where are your thoughts rooted in. Is it past or the future? Because either end of those scales you have no control over. And what you'll find is you end up living in this vicious circle, reliving old pains or stressing about future stuff that you can't do nothing about in the here and now. You really have to look at what is your story now and what are you being triggered by now and addressing it now. And just sort of always bringing it back to the present and now, because the power is the now. That's where you have power.
See, that's
change,
true.
should I say?
No, yeah, you're right, and I think that's a very good, because I had never heard that until you actually said that to me. I never thought about it that way.
The brain is an amazing thing, Reggie. Like it cannot tell the difference between past or present in your mind. It doesn't know that you're reliving that golden moment with a friend or an ex-boyfriend, or you're stressing about a future job interview. It doesn't know. It just experiences it in your nervous system now, here and now. And you'll have an argument with someone or you'll experience a moment and it can trigger an old pain from your past, and your nervous system just recognizes that, oh, now, panic, stress, fear, pain, loss, now. And that's why a lot of people, that's why, including myself, you repeat a lot of things. You know, like you'll have the same arguments or you'll get triggered by certain things over and over again because you're not clocking that it's being triggered by an old pain or a future anxiety or, you know, an insecurity that you had formerly. And that's the one thing that I'm learning is, okay, what is the story I'm telling myself right now based on this thing that I'm experiencing? And 9 times out of 10, Reggie, it's some bullshit from the future or the past that I ain't got no control over. And I'm like, okay, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. Let's bring it back to the present. How do you feel right now? How do you want to feel? And that's the thing that I tend to ask myself is, how do I want to feel right now? And I don't know about you, Reggie, but generally the answer to that question for me is happy, better, peaceful. And just by saying that generally brings your whole kind of nervous system down to a more calmer state so that you can take a more maybe positive action like meditating, having a nap, going for a walk, talking to a friend, you know?
You know, I don't know why people are so afraid of meditating. I don't know if they just got the wrong, like, you know, I think some people watch TV shows and that's how they base meditation, that it's going to be this whole elaborate thing like Doctor Strange, you know, from the Marvel movies. Like your body's going to fly out.
Start accessing new universes.
Yeah. And I think that's what people think. Like, no, it's not like that. And
do you know what? No, sorry, I interrupted. Go on.
No, I'm just going to say that a lot of people that I do talk to, they really do feel like if they try to meditate, that they got to have this whole out of body experience. And that's not what we're talking about when you're talking about meditation.
I feel like there's that perception of it. There's also the fact, Reggie, point blank, people don't want to be still long enough, because if you're quiet and still long enough, you're all going to be very aware of the thoughts that you're thinking. A lot of people think, like I was told by my coach, the average human brain thinks 66,000 thoughts per day. 66,000, Reggie, per day. Yeah. Now, most of those you're not really conscious of. They're just running around in the background like white noise. Yeah. But the thing with meditating is that now I'm going to have to be still and present to those 66,000 thoughts. And most people aren't thinking happy thoughts. And people know that deep down. We know most of us are sitting here insecure, worrisome, fearful, jealous, nervous, you know, anxious. Generally, most of us are running on that sort of emotional level in the background, and you can feel it. So the idea of sitting down and having to stop all that sounds like too much hard work. I can't do it. That's what most people say to me when I tell them I meditate. They're like, oh God, no, I can't sit still for like 5 minutes. Are you crazy? It's like, do you know how crazy that sounds, that you can't sit still for 5 minutes? That's the problem. And that's the problem most people don't want to address. Like, do you know what it means that you can't, as an adult, sit still for 5 minutes and be quiet? That's worrying. Like that's quite concerning. It's a problem. But it's because no one wants to deal with what's going on in their head because it's crazy. There's 66,000 of crazy up in there. That's what it is. And and also it's overwhelming, isn't it, really, to deal with all of that?
It is. It is. I think most people try to escape the thoughts in their head, but they have to actually face it, like face the emotions, face whatever you're afraid of, things you haven't gotten closure on. Now it's all coming in your head and you have to like try to deal with it. But meditation can help you to deal with that if you do it properly. And
most definitely.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, people are afraid. When you say meditation, they just get afraid, or they just automatically they want to be in a Marvel movie. It's just, you got to give it a try.
Yeah, what I would say is try small. I think whenever we're setting out to start a new thing, no matter what it is, exercise, new job, new habit, everyone wants to go from 0 to 100. Like everyone wants to go from being brand new to fully accomplished straight away. You can't skip the steps. You just can't. So what I would say is do what I did. I started off by meditating for 60 seconds at a time and then leveling it up after a few weeks to 2 minutes, to 3 minutes, to 5 minutes, to now I can do 15, 20, 30 minutes if I need to, if I want to. But it took time to get there because, again, my brain was like a monkey on E numbers with ADHD. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? The concept of slowing down that train freaked me out. And especially when I sat down, even just for the first 60 seconds, it was like, Jesus Christ, how long is this 60 seconds? Is there something wrong with... And I kept like opening my eyes and checking the timer on my phone. And that's for 60 seconds. Like, surely it should be done by now. But you have to start small. Be kind to yourself and literally just start small. And also, by the way, meditation can be done any way you want. You don't have to sit there cross-legged. You can actually do moving meditations, i.e. listen to some peaceful panpipey music and maybe like do some stretches or yoga moves. You don't have to sit there all like, Buddha style. Like it can be done any way you want. It's just a quietening of the mind, people. So go with what works for you. If you want to do moving meditations where you swing your arms about, and close your eyes, or you lay on your back, or, you lay on your side, or you sit up, whatever works for you, go with that. There's no one way fits all.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It's like people just want to rush everything, and when you get into meditation, it's a big part of self-care, because if you don't have control of your mind, you don't have control of the random thoughts that's just running through your mind that's causing you to have all these, what you call that, like a roller coaster of emotions that you're going through every day. You're gonna almost seem like you're bipolar. You'll be happy one moment, then the next moment you'll snap at somebody for no reason.
There's a saying: if you don't control your thoughts will control you. And it's very much true. Very much true. And that's the gift we get given. You know what I mean? As being human beings, we have the ability to think and feel. That's what differentiates us from the animals in the animal kingdom. We have the ability to think, to create, to imagine. And the key word is the ability, meaning it's something we are able to control, to harness, to utilize. But it does take conscious effort. And it's not something we've naturally been taught by parents. I don't know. I mean, maybe you have, Reggie, but personally, my parents didn't sit there teaching me meditation and how to be mindful. It was you go to school, get a job, get a good man and marry and settle your ass down in it. That's basically the extent of life. You know what I mean?
That is true.
There was no let's talk mindfulness, Angelique. Let's talk about peace, slowing down of the mind. There was no talks like this. And the average person and the average adult isn't taught these things as a kid. So the idea that you're in control of your thoughts is a brand new concept to the average person. They're like, what do you mean? No, I just think them. It's like, yeah, you think them, but actually you can guide where they go, and actually you can choose the perspective you take on things. And I feel like to do that, though, there needs to be a safe space within your mind. And most people's minds is not a safe space because most of us beat up on ourselves and talk to ourselves in any old way. I'm stupid. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Can't believe I did that. Doofus. Do you know what I mean? Fool. Oh, you're so ugly. Oh, you're so dumb. And can you imagine that is going on inside your head along with all the other thoughts you're thinking? You're safe. Your own mind is not a safe space for you. Do you know what I mean? To even think or feel whatever you're going to think or feel, because you're beating up on yourself. And I think it has to start with how you talk to yourself. You've got to learn to be kind to yourself, no matter what you're thinking. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is.
Wow, that's that is, you said a lot, because to start off
I
with
know
your
I say
point
a lot.
about
Sorry.
no, but in a good way. No, I meant that in a good way, because you brought up some excellent points to the fact that when I was coming up as a child, I was never taught about mindfulness. I was never taught to quiet my mind. And you're right. It was go to school, go to work, get out and get on your own. So now it's like, as I'm older, I'm understanding like, wow, I wish I would have learned this when I was younger. But a lot of parents don't teach this in their household to their kids. They don't teach it. And we do beat up on ourselves. I mean, when you get that negative thought of you feel like you failed, or, relationships or friendships, that stuff can stick with you to where you just kind of carry that.
Yeah, definitely. It becomes like a label you
Yeah.
label yourself with in any moment that you consider, in quote unquote, you failed. There's no such thing as failing. And even I have to remind myself of that. There's lessons. You've learned something.
Mm-hmm.
And there is nothing more important and it's more priceless than clarity. You know what I mean? You don't know what you want until you experience you don't know what you do want until you experience what you don't want. Because in them moments of maybe a breakup, a job loss, you losing someone, are you clear about what you do want? You break up with someone, you realize that relationship wasn't healthy. I want a better relationship. You lose a job, you realize, okay, that's not the job for me. I wasn't happy anyway. Let me look for something better. You know what I mean? You lose a family member, okay, they're gone, but actually look at all the things they taught me and look at all the good memories that I might have with them. Like clarity. So there's no such thing as failure in his life. You have to remind yourself it's just lessons and clarity is gold. It's priceless, because it's from there that you decide on the next steps for yourself and who you want to be and how you want to live. And that's what we came here for as human beings. That's what we're living, is to experience life and to learn. But you must learn in a safe environment. Can you imagine if we sent kids to school and their learning environment was teachers going, oh, you're a dumbass, you don't know what 1 times 1 is? Like, you wouldn't send your kid to that school. I don't know about you, but I definitely, if I had children, I definitely would not send my kid to school where a teacher is abusing them, or when they're first learning to walk. We don't say to kids, get up, you little dummy, why can't you walk yet? No, we're very kind to them. We go, oopsie daisy, that's okay, keep trying. But somehow as adults, we don't apply that same kindness to ourselves as we would to children. I don't understand that.
I don't, and you're right. We really don't. Adults really beat up on themselves hard to where they almost like traumatize themselves, which ends up, it shows.
They do.
Yeah, when they get into new relationships or they meet people, they got all these old self-inflicted wounds that they're bringing out on somebody else.
Yeah, we just out here mentally cutting ourselves and then bleeding on everybody and wondering why it's carnage.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's blood everywhere. Where's all this blood? It's because you keep cutting yourself. And now you're just bleeding on everybody.
Yeah, and we want them to fix it. And they
You know
don't
what I
even know
mean?
what's wrong.
It's like, yeah, because we are just emotionally and spiritually as adults bleeding out here. And yeah, we're looking down at these wounds we're self-inflicting and going, I seem to be losing a lot of spiritual and emotional blood here. I wonder how that's happening. Put the knife down. That's why. Put the knife down and stop cutting yourself. You know what I mean? Stop beating yourself up. But again, it's easier said than done. The first step, I feel like, to really get in control of your thoughts is to become self-aware. Mm-hmm. Most of us are not self-aware. And to teach yourself to be self-aware, again, it's a brand new skill set. It's a brand new muscle that you're engaging within yourself. And at first it's very hard and it can be tiring. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying you need to sit here and monitor every single thought, because nobody's got time for that. And that's not what I mean. What I mean, like you said earlier, is be self-aware that when you can feel yourself being triggered, because we know when we're feeling triggered by something, because it happens in the body first. Your shoulders will tense, your heart will pick up, you might get a headache, your forehead will scrunch and bunch. Like, you'll feel it in the body first, and then you'll react with the thought and feelings and words afterwards. So being aware of yourself and your whole and me and how you're reacting to things is a good way to start self-awareness. And then maybe looking at, okay, what's triggering this physical response here? And you will deep down dive and find that, oh, okay, I'm feeling insecure, I'm feeling embarrassed, I'm feeling stupid, or I'm feeling whatever. And again, the mantra that I say to myself, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. And then after that, take it, breathe. And another thing is breathing. Breathe. When you feel yourself getting sad or upset, breathe. Take a couple of breaths and breathe.
Because a lot of people, they just let the emotions roll. I mean, when they get triggered, it's either I'm at 0 or I'm going straight to 2,000. I'm bypassing 10. You know.
Yeah.
You know, they cannot control when they get triggered. That's why I tell people that sometimes you have to set emotional boundaries. You know, whether it's on the job, whether with people, whether with friends. You may have to set those emotional boundaries because you know when somebody's draining you. You know when somebody's putting you in a place where you're like, I was happy, you come around, now I'm feeling like I don't even want to live anymore. You know, it's like you ever been somewhere and somebody walked in the room, like you say you was happy. This one person walks in the room and your whole mood changes.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, because we're energetic beings, so we can pick up on other people's state. Or somebody is that type of person where they're the constant like complainer, and you're like, oh god, here comes moaning Myrtle. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Just moaning about life. Oh god, oh, shoot me now, please make all this stop. You definitely have to put brand. Like I always say, your peace is yours to protect. Your peace of mind is yours to protect. And the one thing I always say is you cannot get mad at other people when you are out here handing out your peace of mind. Yeah, you're just giving it to your boss. You're giving it to your kids. You're giving it to your partner. You're just handing out your peace of mind, and then you're left with just crumbs, if of that. And now you're mad at everybody. Like, you took my peace of mind. Like, no, you gave it.
Yeah,
you gave it away. Like, and that's a hard pill to swallow, especially when it comes to maybe children, family, loved ones, because we want to connect with those people, we want to provide for them, we want to care for them, but it can never be at the detriment of your own self. Just like on aeroplanes, they tell you to put the mask on yourself first before you put it on anyone else, because if you are empty, you ain't got shit to give to no one else. It's just sand and dust you're handing out, family.
Yes.
Just handing out buckets of dust to people and they're getting mad because you're like, I ain't got nothing left for myself. They didn't take, you gave. And that's the thing that you have to take. You've got to take responsibility for your choices and actions, even the ones that maybe are hard to swallow. Like, because I don't think as human beings, we like to naturally think that we're going to be out here mentally and spiritually self-harming ourselves by giving away our peace of mind, because that's not really nice to think that we would do that. Like, I wouldn't willingly do that. It's like, no, but sometimes we unconsciously do it, or subconsciously do it, should I say, because of old programming and old habits that we've built up, that we've mirrored from parents and teachers and friends, and then we start replicating that as adults, and without knowing it, we end up become the enemy to our own well-being.
Exactly. You know, I look at people and I'm saying, like, you know, when you give that away to somebody, it's like you're giving them power over you, because they now can control your day, they can control your mood. And it's like, why give somebody that much power in your life? Because you got to, even though I think people, when they get into relationships, they seem to think that I can't still have self-care for me as an individual. And that's what friendships, work relationships, anything, people seem to forget that I still have to take care of me. And it's like you said, you know, you have nothing to give when you give so much of yourself away. And sometimes you end up resenting other people. Like,
yeah, you do. I think but that's again, it's because of what we've been taught in society. You know, when you get in a relationship, to become one. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, no, it's not to become one. That math doesn't make any sense. It's 1 + 1. Do you know what I mean? Equals the 2. And like, you know, you're still you, they are still them. but you're sharing a joint experience together, but you're also still living your own life, and you're still feeling your own thoughts, and you still have your own hopes and dreams, as well as those that you share with your partner. And for me personally, my idea of the definition of a relationship is two individuals supporting each other, celebrating each other in their own individual lives. Like, I don't look to you to fix me, to fill me up, to make me whole. I look for you to maybe be a support, maybe when I stumble. I look for you to celebrate me when in my wins in my own personal life, and I look to maybe create new memories together. But if you are looking for your partner to suddenly fill up that hole, or to suddenly be the thing that fixes certain things that you can rely on, unfortunately, human beings, we are fallible. People will let you down. People will disappoint you. And I don't say that to be depressing, you know what I mean? I just mean in a sense that no one is going to be able to hold you as their point of focus all the live long day, because they have their own emotions and their own needs that they are also trying to cater to. So you're always going to be disappointed when a partner, maybe that one time, forgets to bring you flowers, or forgets to compliment you on your new haircut, or maybe doesn't do something that they did, you know, a few months before. It's not because they don't love you. It's just because they're dealing with their own thoughts and emotions as well. So you have to learn to make sure that you're filling your own cup up first, and not seeking for someone else to fill you up. It's a very dangerous game to play when you do that.
It really is. And, you know, before we did this, I did like a little survey thing on the website for some of the listeners, asking them, when they think of self-care, what's the most thing they see online about self-care that they kind of get from it? And I was surprised that most of them were saying, like, take yourself out to dinner, treat yourself to something nice, go to like a salon. Some people said, like, oh, you know, like, take time to actually do something for you. But nobody really got into like, okay, like, mentally fix myself, you know, take care of me. Everything was more about buy yourself a cake, you know, get yourself some flowers. Yeah, a rose fixes everything.
Yeah. That new Apple iPhone 12 Pro, that's the one. That's it. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. Treat yourself. Obviously, please do those things. But unfortunately, like you said, there's more to it than just that. And I think if you don't do what you said, Reggie, about maybe self-healing, self-examination, and self-work, all those things like going to the salon, going to the cinema by yourself, treating yourself, just become a Band-Aid. That's all they are. They're just fillers. They're just Band-Aids on top of like wounds that you're not treating. So, you know, definitely do those things, but in conjunction with looking at some of your past actions, your kind of choices, your regular kind of repetitive reactions to certain things. You have to start to teach yourself to be self-aware. And that's not easy. And most people avoid that, Reggie, because it's hard work. And also, you're really going to have to look at yourself. You know what I mean? And it's going to be like one of them scenes in a Denzel movie. Is that you? Oh, that's you. That's you. Is that you? Yeah, it's gonna be one of them moments where you're like, oh shit, I really said that. I did that. Oh, I made that choice. Oh no. Like, no one wants to look in the mirror, Reggie. It's not always pretty. So let's not do that, and we'll go to the salon and I'll buy myself something nice. Yeah, we'll do that instead. That's me loving on me. It's not though.
But that's what people do. I'm like, you at some point you really have to deal with what's inside your head. You gotta deal with those emotions.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Or you can't even start the process of self-care unless you're willing to deal with what's inside you. If you're really looking for peace and to be happy, you're gonna have to confront those emotions.
Yeah. There is no way around, over, or under, just through, baby. You're going to have to go through. And you're going to have to go through the fire. And the only way to find your peace is to excavate it out of your own bullshit. You have to like go in some sort of like dig and literally root out and weed out your own inner crap to find that sort of sense of peace and one sense of self. And it's definitely something I've been working on. And it's personally, just to clarify, guys, disclaimer, it's a lifelong task. It's never going to be, right, I'm done now, I'm whole, I'm set for life, I'm good. It doesn't work like that. clarify that. It's been a hard pill for me to bloody swallow. Like, what? There's no end to this bullshit. That's for life. Ah, I didn't sign up for this. That was in the small print. Ah. This self-work thing is life? Ah, no. Can I get a refund? No. Exchange? No. Can I go for the smaller plan, basic plan? Can I come back as a cat? No. All right, never mind then. Stuck in the human body. Great. It's an everyday sort of thing. But what I've realized is, whilst I'm excavating, digging away at my own past triggers and past pains and random ego moments, I have to do this within a safe space within myself. Mm-hmm. And so you need to make sure you're creating a safe space within yourself. And that involves more kinder, positive self-talk. No matter how you react to things, just telling yourself that it's okay. It's okay not to be okay. As cliched and cheesy as that statement sounds and new agey, baby, you're going to have to tell yourself it's okay not to be okay, because you're not always going to have your shit together. And sometimes you're going to lose your mind and revert to that of a 5-year-old reaction. It's okay. You're human. It's okay not to be okay. You understand? Like, you have to be okay with sometimes your stuff being off. And, you need to tell yourself that it's okay to feel. What you're feeling is okay. You have every right to experience whatever emotion you're experiencing at that time. Give yourself permission to feel. Don't put it away. Don't use that, excuse my language, bullshit word. I'm fine. You're not fine. It's okay to admit you're not fine. You're not okay. It's okay. And that's what it is. I feel like you have to tell yourself, I've got me. I'm okay. I'm a safe space within myself to feel, as you're examining yourself and looking at maybe your reactions and working on yourself. Because otherwise it's a battlefield in there, and you're going to get blown up within yourself if you're not kind to yourself.
Yes. You're right. Yeah. I mean, but you mentioned something earlier. You mentioned life coach. Now, whenever, I think, because me and you and Melissa kind of talked about this a little bit when we was all together. Yeah. But when we talk about life coach, we talk about therapist. I think people don't understand, especially when you mention life coach. A lot of people really don't understand. Yes. They think a life coach means they're going to tell you everything you're supposed to do day by day. It's like like you going to a drill sergeant. It's like they're thinking of the arm. Because I think a lot of people really get their information from the wrong places. They don't really research. And having somebody like a life coach is good to explore your feelings, because you got an outside person that can kind of see something that maybe you're not seeing, or they can kind of open your eyes to see another point of view, instead of you in your own little foggy view of what you, because I know I can get like that. I can get my own little shit vision glasses on, and it's like, nope, this is the world. This is how I see it. There is no changing it. But having somebody who can kind of pull that glass off of you and like, look, dumbass, there is more. There's a bigger picture than what you're seeing. So it's like, I think people don't understand the benefits of a life coach or a therapist.
Yeah, I mean, one, because it's got a lot of negative connotations attached to it. Oh, you must have really had a breakdown, or you must have really, hit rock bottom if you need help. My God, you need help? I don't need help. Like, we are very ego-based beings, like, psh, I don't need help. I don't need no help. I got this. You got it? I'm going to tell you for free, I don't got shit. I'm okay to admit that now. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'm just winging it. And sometimes a bit of guidance or a bit of someone maybe helping me, like you said, to maybe have a better perspective. Because like you said, I liked it. Sometimes you have your shit goggles on and you can only see it through the lens of your previous pains and past. Like, when you look at life, most people are looking at life through previous past experiences, and most of those aren't always positive. So then you're just looking at life through this lens of, that person hates me. They always seem to get more things than I do. That person's prettier than me. Life is hard. You're looking at life through these lenses instead of really seeing the bigger picture of possibilities. And so that, paired with the fact that, like I said, that human beings are ego and don't like the idea of admitting they need help or they don't know something, means that you won't seek out help. But really, where's the shame in asking for help? We encourage children all the time. If you don't know something, ask. If you need help, ask. But yeah, as adults, we're meant to apparently have all our shit together. Excuse me, since when? No, you're constantly learning. So for me, the one thing that I realized when I hired my life coach or personal development coach, because their titles keep changing all the time, is I want to be different, Reggie. I want my life to be different than it was before. And it's not to say my life up to this point has been terrible. It hasn't, but there's just been certain repetitive choices and mistakes that I've made personally for myself that I realized I want to change and stop doing. And to be different, I must make different choices. I must choose to have a different perspective. I must choose a different choice of words. And quite frankly, at this point in time, I'm not sure how to do that. So having a coach from me allows me the space to have someone, like you said, give me a different perspective for me to go, oh, I didn't think about it like that. Ah, that's a good point. Oh, yeah, I didn't know I could do it that way. And now I'm making different choices, therefore I am someone different. And that's what a life coach does for you. So just to clarify, a life coach doesn't sit there going, right, today you're going to apply for this job and then you're going to do this and you're going to meditate for 5 minutes. No, that's not what they do. You know, sessions can run from anything from an hour to 2 hours. And what all a life coach really does, and it's really cool, nifty job, to be honest, I don't know why we're not all doing it, but you do need a skill set. I don't want to push down anyone who's really skilled as a personal development life coach. But you will talk to them about something that maybe you want to focus on, an area in your life, maybe your job, your health, your fitness, your relationships. And you'll talk about it. And what they'll do is they'll take that subject and turn it back around on you by asking you certain questions about it. A coach's job is actually to always guide it back round to, what do you want? What do you think? Because actually, Reggie, we have the answers within ourselves, but a lot of the time, like you said earlier, we have our shit goggles on, or we have our insecurity vest on, we've got our pain pants on. And because of that, we're not able to sometimes find the answers within ourselves. So what a life coach does, by giving you a different perspective and bringing it back round in you, forces you to really dig deep to find your own answer within. So they actually just kind of guide you to the answer that's already there within yourself. They just help kind of clear the mess a little bit and filter it out so that you're able to answer those questions. And most of the time in my sessions, do you know what it always comes back to? Oh, I did that. Oh, that was my choice. Oh, crap. Just once, I would like to have a live session where it's someone else's fault. Because, we love to blame people. We want to put the blame on someone. I would love, Reggie, that after my end of the session, I'm like, ha, I knew it was his fault or her fault. I was right. Because we do want to be vindicated. We do want to be vindicated in our rightness, but I hate to break it to you people. It's you. It's always you. That's what I'm learning. In your life, it's you. Like the lottery over here, the advert goes, it could be you. No, it is you. It's every time in my sessions with my coach, I'm like, damn it! Why do I pay you? I'm like, this is some bullshit. I want my money back.
That is true, though. Because that's what we want to hear. We want them to tell us it was the other person's fault. And like I said, we want to be vindicated.
Yes.
Yeah. She's the reason the relationship didn't work. I knew she was crap. I knew it. Thanks, Doc.
Yeah.
Session
that
over.
Chick was crazy. Thanks for clarifying. Over. Yeah, money well spent. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's not gonna go down like that. Let me just put that out there now. If that's what you want to happen from your therapy sessions, your coaching sessions, boo-boo, you're not ready for it yet. I'm gonna be real with you. Taking up help from a therapist, counselor, or a coach is about self-examination. It's about how can you change patterns of thinking, patterns of behavior, so you can get a different outcome. Because like the saying goes, banging your head on a brick wall every day and expecting different results is the definition of crazy. So if you're going to keep repeating the same behaviors and arguments and having the same scenarios pop up, it's because you're doing the same things. The common denominator is you. So if you want different, you are going to need to be different. And quite frankly, I don't know about you, like I said, but you don't know what you don't know. So you can do it by yourself. You don't need a life coach. There's loads of tools and resources at our fingertips now online, YouTube, Mind Valley, there's all these great people out there and resources. So you can do it yourself, but you don't have to do it all by yourself. You can get someone who's trained and their job is to help guide you towards better choices for yourself. So why not take advantage of that if it's there? If you really want to have something different going on in your life, why would you not take the resources or help from a professional? Why not?
And Angelique makes a great point. You know, it's like even with the pandemic going on right now, there are plenty of life therapists or professional development coaches that you can get online that will do live videos with you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to
Mhm.
actually go to
Mhm.
somebody's office right now. You can do it in the privacy of your home, and you need to get that stuff out because, like she said, holding it in, you're going to become a volcano, and eventually you're going
Yeah.
to
It's not gonna
erupt.
be pretty
And
when you erupt.
yeah, and it's like it could be on your wife, it could be on your husband, it could be on your kids, and
Mm.
and hopefully that doesn't happen. So please don't do that. I'm not saying do that. Don't do that. So
Don't go batshit crazy on the 101 highway.
yeah, and like I said, it's over the simplest things. But people, you have to understand that self-care is important. It's important to recognize who's around you, to recognize the people that are around you, who's filling you with energy that's going to keep you going, who's draining you, who is giving you that good feeling of like reinforcing your positive emotions to make you want to do better, make you feel encouraged, and who's making you feel like you're a piece of shit and like you should just go jump off a bridge. You got to pay attention. I think people need to
Yeah.
take note of when and where this stuff happens because you may have to cut some people off. I hate to say it, but sometimes you may have to cut some people off. I mean, it's like you said, that one person who always complains. Learn to turn off the TV, get away from social media. If somebody calls you and everything is, negative, it's like you may not have to take that phone call. You may not. You may have to say, you know what? I'm going to let that just go to
Yeah.
voicemail. It's like when me and you talk, it's always a fun conversation. Always.
Yeah.
I've never felt
Yeah,
like, oh
yeah.
God, Angelique, she's
Yeah.
going to start talking about the moon and
He's
how
lying,
she hates
people. He's lying. I
Trump.
bullied him to come on the show. I virtually twisted his arm. I was like, you will put me on the show, Reggie. I'll stalk you on Instagram. Nah, no, he's right. Before I make a point, though, about your environment and who you surround yourself with, just to go back to the eruption theory you said about if you don't, deal with it, you're going to erupt like a volcano. I just want to clarify something. Like I said, we are ego-based beings. So sometimes our pride can get in the way of wanting to seek help or work on ourselves. And that's fine. That's fair enough. I'm a Leo. I'm very prideful. And it's something I'm working on because that's why the saying pride comes before fall. Because your pride don't serve you when it's holding you back. It's different if your pride is in actually, no, I believe in myself. I've got the skills to do X, Y, Z. That's a great place for pride. But when pride is, I don't need nobody. I've got this figured out, and you're cutting off your nose to spite your face, you only end up injuring you. I say mainly, but there is a ripple effect in terms of the eruption. If you don't deal with yourself and your emotions and you have a breakdown or you end up lashing out at your loved ones, they also then get the backlash of that as well. And on further of that, if you cannot find working on yourself for yourself a motivating enough reason, think about the loved ones around you. I'm assuming most of us have at least one person we love, whether it's a partner, our kids, our parents, whatever. But especially if you're in a relationship and you have children, I will say this. As a child growing up in a house where I was a child to two adults who were not happy, they were not in a happy marriage, they were constantly arguing, they were constantly going at each other. And this is not uncommon. A lot of people grow up in that type of household and witness these things. But what adults forget as we become adults ourselves, and then we have children, we forget what it was like to be that child. So when you're not working on yourself and you're living a very miserable, angry, bitter life and you're lashing out at your partner and you're moaning about life, there is a child witnessing this. That's what they think it means to be an adult. Because what they see, they will then later on grow up to mirror and be that same adult later on. So if you cannot
That's
work
true.
on yourself for yourself, do it at least for your children or your partner. Because the damage you are causing is how you end up with more confused, angry adults because of what they witnessed growing up. Because at the end of the day, as an adult, you are a role model for them about what it means to be a healthy, happy, whole individual. And if all they see is you making excuses, repeating your same mistakes, being angry, disappointed, depressed, that's what they believe life is about. And they will too become that. So just bear that in mind as well when you're working on yourself. If you need motivation, look at your children. They are looking at you. And trust me when I tell you, they are watching everything you're doing. Even when you think you've gone into your bedroom to cry so they can't see you, they can hear you.
Yes.
Even when you think you're having that hushed argument, they can hear you. Now, they may not understand the intricacies of adult emotion, but they know what happy and not happy looks like. And they will just think, well, that's what it is. Life is to be miserable and yell at your partner. That's what life is about. Okay, cool. I'm going to repeat that. Cool. Because as children, your parents are superheroes. They are gods in your world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What they say is law. Because you're brand new to this world, so you trust these adults. So, okay, so when you want something, you yell at your partner. Okay, cool. When you're sad, you go into another room and you cry about it. Okay, cool. That's what I'm gonna do, because that's what it means to be an adult. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what it means. You're not even happy and living, enjoying your life. And now you got a kid that's like, okay, taking notes, mental notes. Like, all right, cool. So don't talk about how you feel. Be really angry all the time. Don't be happy in your life. All right, I got this clocked. That's what I'm going to be as an adult. That's what people don't really realize as well. They forget. Children see everything, And also your partner as well. Even if you don't have kids, your partner is also having to bear witness to your madness as well.
That's true.
So if you can't do it for the love of yourself, maybe do it for the love of a partner or your kids or something like that. Because I'm sure the people in our life that we love, we wouldn't want to intentionally hurt them. Do you know what I mean? Or harm them mentally or emotionally. So maybe try and use that as a motivation to work on yourself and becoming self-aware. And your other point about who you surround yourself with. Listen, we don't feel no way about weeding out our garden. When we see the weeds strangling our lovely rose bushes, we don't feel no way about snipping off them bad boys. But yet, when we've got weeds in terms of people around us choking us spiritually, mentally, we seem to be okay with that. We're like, okay, well, because we've got memories and we've got, we've got time in the game together. I can't cut you out. See, but you dying. You are struggling underneath that. You are emotionally dying, and it is hard. I'm not saying it's easy that I'm just going to cut that person off, especially if you've known them for years.
Right.
No. But again, if you don't put the air mask on yourself first before anyone else, you're going to end up dying. So sometimes you do have to look at what you're surrounding yourself with and what you're absorbing as well, like you said, social media and them things, because those things play a part. We are walking sponges.
Oh, tell me about it. You have to shut that stuff down at some point. Yeah. You have to.
Oh, yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. If it doesn't like I always say, if it doesn't fill me up, or if it doesn't educate and expand my mind, I don't want to know. Honestly, I don't want to know. And so that is slightly putting your head in the sand slightly when it comes to maybe not watching the news and reading the newspapers and all these things. But you know what? Unless it's educating, expanding your mind and filling you with solution orientated thoughts and positive action sort of inspired feelings, then it doesn't serve you. It doesn't really change your world, your immediate kind of world that you live in. So for me, if it doesn't make me laugh, doesn't fill me with joy, doesn't make me think in terms of changing for the better, doesn't inspire me, I don't want to know. So I'm not watching it, I'm not reading it, and I'm not partaking in it. Life's too short, man, to be filling yourself up with bullshit.
It is. It really is. You have to learn to just live and look just to be happy. Don't take in that negative stuff. Don't. I mean, it's just you waste half a day on thinking about something that has no control, and really that's not even a threat to you right now. It's
you know what I mean? And it's and that's how you end up leading into a place of anxiety. Like my new thing where I try to manage any anxious thoughts that I do have is I will cross that bridge if and when I get to it. Because often we're trying to predict the future. Will I be able to pay my bill? Will that person call me? Is that person going to pay me back on time? Do you have the answer to that question right now? If the answer is no, you have to tell yourself, I will cross that bridge if and when I get to it. Because otherwise you're just out here trying to fight fires that haven't started yet. Do you know what I mean? You're just out here with your firefighting gear ready for the fire that's not actually started yet. You need to calm down, put the firefighting gear down. It's okay. Just breathe. Chill out. Yeah, it's not that serious and it's not that deep. And a little disclaimer, guys. None of us are going to make it out of this thing called life alive. Spoiler alert, we're all going to die. Do you know what I mean? Just make sure. Your days are finite. So I don't know about you, but I'd rather not use those finite days that I have left or years that I have left stressing about things that are out of my control or trying to control what other people do. And that's the other thing. I hate to break it to you. You can't control anything that anyone else does or thinks.
No.
Out of your control. And none of it is your business either, by the way, because that is too much. You aren't even controlling your own damn self, let alone trying to control someone else. It's too much.
It is too much. It's too much. But until people...
So, Reggie, what are the sort of things that you do for your self-care? I just interrupted you again, but yeah.
No.
Just curious. What are things that you do to make yourself feel good on a daily basis, or like keep yourself and your sanity balanced as much as possible?
I lean heavily into my creativity. It's like whether it's writing poetry or working on a podcast, I'll do that because I feel like I'm expressing myself in some way. Music, I take time to meditate. Sometimes I do the guided meditation. Sometimes I just do like me just sitting in silence. Those are the main things that I do. I try to shut down the news. It's like no news, no negative stuff, no social media. And other than that is I take time to listen to some music. I find now it's all happy songs. It is. It's like dance songs. They're not talking about politics.
No Adele? No.
Yeah.
The depressing stuff from Adele. God bless her. I love her, but she's depressing.
Oh. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't. No, her and Carrie Underwood, they're too depressing. And I think a lot of times we do, like on YouTube, if you watch a lot, like I used to follow this guy called Willie D. He was a rapper with the Ghetto Boys. And he used to have some great videos that he did. But now every video he puts out is about somebody getting killed, somebody getting shot. And that just seems to be the popular thing in social media now because everybody feels like the more negative and violent things I talk about, the more listeners I'm going to get. So I just I'm careful about who I follow. Yeah, I'm careful about who I follow. When I need a laugh, when I really just want to just remind myself that the world should be fun and playful. This is going to sound stupid, but there's a YouTube channel called Suri Noel about this cat family. Watching them, I mean, it is the real cats. They got the guy who makes the videos really shows their personality. He just lets them be cats. And it's like, it's funny. And by the time I'm done watching that, I'm like, you know what? I haven't laughed today. I haven't smiled. Until you send me something, then I start cracking up laughing. It's like...
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'm a goofy mother. Yeah, I'm goofy as hell. I love a laugh. I love to... And laughter is chicken soup for the soul, people. That's what laughter is. It's chicken soup for the soul. People take themselves too serious. Like I said, none of us are making out this thing called life alive. So you better laugh.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to be silly.
Be silly. Like, tap into that inner child. Do you know how many times I put on some music? I live by myself, with just me and the cat, and my poor cat Coco has to bear witness to me busting some really goofy, funky dance moves in the dance in my house. I don't care. I put on a jam and I will shock out like it's 1995, you know what I mean? And I'm just busting the Running Man, all sorts of uncoordinated maneuvers, and I don't care. Like, sometimes you just gotta let the energy out. You gotta be silly and let the music just sweep through you. I think those are some really good kind of sort of self-love habits you've got going on. I think creativity is a good one. And also I think creativity gets a bit of another stigma because it's like, oh, well, I can't draw, I can't sing, I can't do this, so I'm not creative. You can create anything. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? You could do a jigsaw puzzle. You could do paint by numbers. Anything that lets out, makes you kind of clock out of the normal 9 to 5 in your mind is a great outlet. It could be reading. Like, I'm an avid reader of just novels and books. I love a good story, so that's my way of tuning out, and it's my kind of happy safe space. Watching a good movie. Like you, I love to listen to music. Music is always on in my house. Like you, I haven't watched the news, I swear, probably for about 6 years. Haven't watched it. don't watch it at all. I haven't read the newspapers for even longer. With my social media feed, I'm starting to kind of clean it up and filter it, so it's only certain things popping up on my feed that I want to see, that either inspire me, make me laugh, make me smile, just kind of make me feel good. And I like to have conversations that make me feel good. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that all my conversations are shallow and surface level, because there's a time for deep introspection. You know what I mean? But I generally like to talk about what's your wins, what inspired you today, like what got you going today, what made you laugh today. Share it. I love sharing silly little funny videos. Poor Reggie gets to hear me chat away. Do you know what I mean? With my goofy self. Laughter, just laugh. You'd be surprised how much laughing and music and playing with your children, if you've got them, playing make-believe games with them, will just lift your whole spirit and also remind you what's really important. Like what really matters is that we just want to have a good time. We just want to feel good. We just want to love. We want to be loved and give love. So what things can you do in your daily life that nurture that and create a space for that? Like your home is your haven. Set it up so that you're winning from the moment you wake up to what you listen to, meditation, exercise, your food, the people around you. Set yourself up so you win. It's your life, your rules. You get to create them.
Oh, that is a good point. If your home is not your safe haven, you need to make some changes. That should be the one place where you know you can just be you, take off the mask that you wear in the rest of the world, and just be yourself.
Yes. I feel like your home is your haven, and also your mind is your haven. So make that also a safe space, like I said earlier. I feel like for me, the main points of self-care is, how are you talking to yourself? What is the space around you in your mind looking like and feel like? Do you beat up on yourself, or do you talk positively to yourself? Do you talk nicely to yourself, or is it negatively? Make your mind and your spirit a safe haven for your emotions to be wherever they are. And there's no such thing as bad or good. It just is. I feel like making your home a safe space, so bright colors, artwork that you want to look at, I don't know, music you want to listen to, books that you want to read, surround yourself with that. What do you put into your body? Are you eating the right foods for yourself? Are you listening to what your body needs? Are you giving it vitamins? Are you giving it oxygen? It's all about, what are you filling yourself up with? What are you absorbing? You have to just look at those points in yourself and maybe do little bits and pieces to change that so you feel more uplifted.
See, exactly. Get away from the negative videos and crazy songs and just be happy. Go out, look at the sun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Look
Listen
at
to
the
a bit
sun.
of
Go
Pharrell,
for a
you know what I mean?
walk.
Play the happy song. 'Cause I'm happy, clap along if you feel that happiness is the truth. Go play, be silly, man. Put on a song and bust the Running Man like I do. I was playing Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison, yesterday, and I was busting all sorts of 90s moves. I looked like a character out of House Party. It was great. Just and I started playing Michael Jackson's Do You Remember the Time? I was just dancing away like, woo, I do remember the time, MG. It was great.
Oh, man, I remember that.
I'm so silly.
Oh, my God. Well, at least I'm not alone.
But yeah, I think just love yourself. No. I'm crazy cat lady. It's cool. Like, go do what you gotta do to keep that crazy happy train going.
Because I was trying to do the Kid and Play last night, and darn near broke my back.
Oh, well, whoops.
Yeah.
Gotta take it easy now. Take it easy. Yeah. Know your limits, my friend. Know your limits.
Very true.
Yes, must know yourself and know your limits. But yeah, I feel like this is a great conversation, one that needs to happen more often, and also can only happen if people are willing to share and be vulnerable, which I know is scary, people talking about your emotions. But remember, the world is not going to end because you were like admitting that you felt bad today, or you were confused, or you couldn't figure something out. Share your emotions with people you feel safe with, though. Let me just clarify that. Don't just be telling anybody and everybody, because some people people have to earn that right to hear your emotions. So, don't just be sharing with everybody. Make sure you're sharing with people that you really trust, that you've got, solid friendships and connections with, and are a safe space for you to talk to. But talk, share, and share what you guys are doing in each other's lives that makes you feel good, because you might gain inspiration from someone else and what their self-care routine is as well,
And that's true. I mean, when you have those connections like that, it really can help you to just kind of get out of your comfort zone and just be able to reach out, because we all need that. Yeah. We all need somebody to bounce stuff off of. You can't do it by yourself. As much as we all want to, even me with my Batman complex, I know I can't do it by myself. Yeah.
You're not the Dark Knight. and by the way, even the Dark Knight had Robin for a little while. Okay, so if the Dark Knight can have a sidekick, so can your black ass. So.
I know.
Get yourself a Robin.
Yeah, I do. I get a sidekick, because I am too much a Batman, just in my little bat cave, and even in the movies, I'm like in a little corner by myself in the dark. It's like,
oh, don't worry, I do that too. But that's usually because I'm like I bring like half my house with me in terms of food, so I just don't want anyone hearing me munching away. So it's like, let me not be mean. Everyone hear me chomping on my crisps and cookies. Let me just sit in the corner too. It's polite. This was good. I enjoyed this conversation, man. I hope your listeners got something from it.
Oh, thank you. Well, they always enjoy you being here. You always bring a great perspective. Always make the conversation more intelligent. Kimberly, you happy now? No, I'm just kidding. No. Kimberly, we love you. We love you. All of us laugh.
That was such a teacher's voice, Kimberly.
Listen,
I was back at school for a second.
She sends me these She sends the most polite but threatening messages in my DMs, and it's like, I'm not mad at you, Reggie. I'm not mad.
That is a woman who knows her own mind.
Yeah,
she knows what she wants. She's letting you know, Reggie.
I just feel like Melissa and Angelique are being attacked.
Women after my own
heart. When are you going
to
change it? I'm like, Melissa.
She's speaking up. I like that. Look at me with my big spoon stirring the shit pot.
Oh my God. Spoiler. Kimberly, in the next episode, Angelique's character and James are getting married. Okay? There you go.
Ooh, he's lying. Very much lying. I hope he's lying, because he writes scripts. I'm gonna have to call him out if that bullshit happens. Someone's gonna get sniped. So, yeah, you lying, right, Reggie? You lying, right, Reggie? Right?
I don't think they will believe that.
We'll have a long conversation if you ain't. No, because I don't believe it. I cannot see, my character and Andrew, getting married and going down the aisle and that. But, stranger things have happened in the world of soap opera type dramas. So who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Kimberly probably killed us both. Her and her crew, Ashley.
She coming to you, and I'm going to let her know it was under duress that I read that script. And point her ass in your direction. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, my goodness.
Every man for themselves.
See? Supposed to have my back. But hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for checking out the show.
Yes.
Oh, as you guys know, new shows are dropped every Friday.
Yes.
Oh my God, Angelique.
Happy Friday, guys! You're listening to this. I'm goofy. I'm gonna stop talking now. Go back to professional mode. Go, Reggie. You can do the outro. I'm gonna shut the hell up.
Okay. Hey guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for checking out the show. Don't forget, new shows drop every Friday. And I appreciate all the support. For those of you who want the numbers, yes, I will post that on the website. So you can go to the website and check it out. And for those of you who was asking about the highest rated episode in that little contest that I did not know y'all was doing. But actually the one with me, Angelique and Melissa, me and Angelique, Yeah, it was the one about the pandemic, and then the health one, the one with me and Angelique talked about health.
Yeah.
Those are the
Health
two.
and fitness.
Yeah, those are the two top rated. One at 20,000 downloads, and the other one was right underneath, like 1950, 1940, if I remember correct.
Cool.
So yes, so I'm always grateful, so thankful to Angelique and Melissa for the scripts, also being part of the show. Angelique is wonderful. She'll be back on another episode that we're going to do as well. So, Angelique, thank you as always. And you are always welcome. I'm going to keep telling you that so you'll keep coming back.
Thank you so much. I'm excited for the next episode. Can I say what it's about, or the one that I'm on next?
You can.
It's about music and movies. I'm so excited. I love music and movies. I mean, it's going to be open for debate though, because it's such a, subjective thing to the individual, but I don't care. I'm excited to talk about it. And thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate y'all listening. If y'all stayed on to this point, well done to you.
Oh, yes. And thank you, everybody. So we will see you guys next Friday.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Simply Straight Talk podcast. Make sure you visit our website at rmviagem.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Libsyn, SoundCloud, or Spotify, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that will help us out too. Thank you, and see you next week.